Hey, Kinderguppies! It's Mr. McComb here again. I've got another new story for you. It's a book by one of my favorite authors, Robert Munsch. It's called School Rules. And when I look at that title, I wonder, does that mean there are so many rules at school that that little girl is upset and grumpy? I think I need to ask somebody for help. And lucky for you guys, we've got a visitor here. It's Mrs. Powers.
Hello, everyone. I don't know, Mr. McComb. I'm looking at this book cover, and that little girl looks very, very happy to me, and so does her little dog. I'm wondering if she's thinking, school rules.
Well, wouldn't that be nice? Let's read on and find out. For Cassandra Cautious from Pickering, Ontario, R.M. You know, Miss Powers, that's Robert Munsch's initials.
Mm-hmm.
He always writes stories about people he really knows.
Well, this one says, for my daughter, Maria, who reminds me of Cassandra. D.W.
That must be the illustrator.
That must be. You know, this story, a little girl who really misses school, maybe, or loves school, kind of reminds me of a little girl in my classroom.
Oh, who's that?
That would be Alexandria.
Does she really miss school?
I think she really misses school.
Well, hopefully, she and every other Kinderguppie in grade 1 will like this story. On Friday, when the bell rang and school was done, Cassandra hid underneath her desk and did not go home, even when all the other kids got dressed and left. She did not go home, even after the teacher ran out to get to the bank before it closed.
Cassandra hid underneath her desk and did not go home when the janitor with the tattoos on his arms mopped the floor.
Cassandra hid underneath her desk and did not go home, even when the slightly scary principal turned off all of the lights and locked the front door.
Then Cassandra finally got out from underneath her desk, turned on the lights, and pulled out all her favorite stuff.
When it was time for dinner, Cassandra's father said to her mother, "Where's Cassandra?" "I don't know," said her mother. "I haven't seen her. I thought she was with you."
So they ran around and yelled and screamed and hollered and called Cassandra's grandmother and all the neighbors. Then they called the police and the fire department and the hospital.
Finally, Cassandra's father walked over to the school and saw the light on in her classroom. He banged on the window until Cassandra opened it. He yelled, "We thought you were lost! We thought you were kidnapped! What are you doing staying here in school?"
I like school, said Cassandra. I don't care if you like it, said her father. You can't stay at school. You have to come home sometime. Oh, but I like school, said Cassandra.
"This is nuts," said her father. He jumped through the window, picked up Cassandra, and carried her home.
The next day was a Saturday. Her father said, "You can't go to school." Her mother said, "You can't go to school." Cassandra said, "But I like school." Her mother and father both yelled,
"You can't go to school! There is no school today!" But Cassandra got on her bike and rode over to the school anyway. She knocked on the door, but nobody answered. She tried the window, but it was shut tight. Look at that, Kinderguppies. That Cassandra is so silly. She misses school so much. Look at her trying to sneak back into the classroom. And look at that pet in his cage. He's trying to break out of the cage to help Cassandra get into the classroom. They must really be good friends. Do you know how that feels, Kinderguppies? Do you know how it feels to miss school so much? Do you know how it feels to miss your friends so much? I think we are all feeling that way a little bit right now. I hope we get to see each other soon. Now, let's get back to our story.
So Cassandra got back on her bicycle, and rode down the street until she came to the everything store. She walked inside and said, "I want to buy a school."
"What sort of school?" said the lady behind the counter. "I want a school with dirty red bricks, a slightly scary principal, a very nice teacher, and a janitor with tattoos on his arm," said Cassandra. "Ooh," said the lady, "we have lots of those. Where do you want it sent?" "Send it," said Cassandra, "to my backyard."
The next day was Sunday. Cassandra's mother and father got up and went downstairs. They looked out the window and saw a school with dirty red bricks sitting in their backyard. There was a janitor out front cleaning the windows. Her father looked at her mother, and her mother looked at her father, and they both yelled,
"Cassandra!" Cassandra came running downstairs and said, "My school! It came! This is wonderful!" She ran out of the back door, said hi to the janitor, got scolded by the principal for being late, and went into the classroom with the nice teacher. And at recess, she told all of her friends how to buy a school of their very own. "Look at this picture, Mrs. Powers. Look at all those kids in that town who missed school so much that they bought their own."
Wow, it is quite surprising. It reminds me a lot of what's going on right now. I think a lot of kids are missing school too right now.
It certainly does. We just had our parade, Mrs. Powers, and I saw a lot of kids come and walk or drive or ride past the teachers to say hello and to look at the school.
Yes, it was very exciting to see all those faces. We sure miss them too.
Well, there we are, Mrs. Powers. We're at the end of another great book. And there's a picture of Robert Munsch himself and the man who illustrated it, Dave Whammond. I sure enjoyed doing that with you, Miss Powers.
I really enjoyed it too, and I hope all of you will enjoy it as well.